welcome back to my channel. I am Hawkinsimmer, and today we're doing another speed build. Yay! Okay, so this is like the oldest little Simsie. I think she was calling it the fish shell build. This is literally from like well over a month, 2 months ago even, perhaps. Whoops. There's just been a lot going on, namely, you know, that little thing called My Wedding Stories came out, so I've been a little bit busy trying to cover that, and honestly, I just kind of forgot about this. See, I messed up with My Wedding Stories coming out and having my little series going on right now where I'm building a community lot for me and all of my best friends to live in. I will link that playlist above, so definitely check it out. It's super fun. At this point, all of the houses have been uploaded. The only thing left that I need to upload are just our like community shared spaces. Those are coming eventually, hopefully soon. I do have a couple more things with My Wedding Stories that I want to do, but yeah, the organization of all of this is bananas. It's none. I actually had to look at the screenshots that I took of this build because I couldn't remember how many bedrooms and bathrooms there are, but I really enjoyed this shell. It's probably one of my favorite ones of Kayla's that I've ever done. She usually makes hers like smaller than this. I feel like this was a bigger one. So this one I ended up making 4 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms. She doesn't always do this, but she did have a couple of walls inside of the main structure that were her walls that you can't touch. So I painted the ones upstairs red because I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with that. But then the one downstairs, I kind of immediately knew how I was separating that. So I didn't paint those red, but you can see it there with the stairs. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing this. I had a lot of fun. I think it turned out pretty cute. I think she tried to, you know, trip us up with the unevenness of especially that main kind of dormer area. I don't know what you would call that, like the bump out, how they're not actually symmetrical, but I think I did a pretty good job playing it off by placing some good columns and I think a plant. I think it kind of centers it up a little bit better, even though in real life it's not centered, if that makes sense. So anyway, I don't know what else I could really say about the build. I feel like I always do this. I like talk about the build in depth real early on, and then I have nothing else to talk about, so I resort to just talking about my life. That's on being a chronic oversharer, y'all. Anyway, how are you? I hope you're well. I feel like things have been weird on my channel because I just started putting my face on my videos. Ooh, it's so awkward. I just sort of started to get comfortable again editing videos. A little bit of history. When I started my channel, I had a Mac and was using iMovie. I love iMovie. It was great. It was super intuitive, very easy to use. And then my Mac died because it was not equipped to handle all the bullshit I was doing with it. And, you know, no hate to her, baby. I loved my Mac. I would have another one in a heartbeat. But when I switched to a PC, I had to learn a whole new software. So I currently use DaVinci Resolve. It's not like it's a difficult program to use. It's just a different program to use. So I basically had to relearn how to do everything that I sort of remembered how to do with iMovie. So I just really started getting mostly comfortable, still learning things all the time. And then adding a face cam in totally changed the game. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's way more simpler than I'm making it, but currently I'm having a difficult time. But as you can see, I cut out all the landscaping in this build. It's because I took way too long. Like, way too long. I have noticed that people tend to respond better to shorter videos on my channel and not as well to my like 20-minute plus videos. So ideally, I wish I was a faster builder. Listen, all the time I see where people are being like, oh, it took me an hour to build this house, OMG. And I'm like, well, it took me an hour to do the kitchen, so whoops. So yeah, it turns out I'm a really slow builder. It doesn't matter how long you've played this game. Some people are just slow at building, apparently. I don't know, I'm just slow, or maybe the nice thing to say is I'm detail oriented, but I don't think so. I see really detailed builds and people build a lot faster than me. So Yikes, bro. But I cut out all the landscaping. It's pretty stereotypical for me. I mean, I landscape the same way in every single build, or at least the same formula. They're not always the same numbers, but they're the same formula. You pick a couple of green things, and then you pick a couple of flowery things, and then you just kind of roll with those like 4 or maybe 5 different items, and then you just kind of mash them all together. I mean, that's how I do it. Maybe it's not that cute. I think it's all right, but sometimes I'm like, this looks like garbage, but like I also don't care enough to try and to fix it. So there's that. But yeah, I really liked this shell. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that if it wasn't a shell, I wouldn't have changed anything. The living room is a little bit cramped, but I think the rest of the space makes a lot of sense. And I actually got an office in here too. 4 good-sized bedrooms and an office. And laundry. I got laundry in here too. So yeah, it's just a cute little suburban home. Like, I feel like this is the kind of house that you can see in your neighborhood, or maybe not your neighborhood, but you know, that neighborhood in like a feel-good family movie. I'm specifically thinking of that one, oh my god, who's in that? Matt Damon and what's-her-face, and they like foster some children. You know what I'm talking about? That one was good. That one, it pulled at the little heartstrings. I thought that was a good movie. Anyway, that's the kind of house I feel like this is. Like, this is in one of those, like, feel-good family movies. And it's like, this house is gigantic and beautiful. How can you afford this if you're, like, struggling? And they always are in those movies. Not in that movie. I think they're doing pretty all right financially in that movie. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about in movies. I feel like especially, like, early 2000 movies, maybe like late 90s movies, it'll be like, oh, how are we gonna pay our bills? But they're living in like a 3-story, like 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home, and it's like, are you struggling? Like, what? I don't think the struggle that I'm struggling is the same struggle that you're struggling. We are not on the same struggle bus. Maybe we're both on a struggle bus, but it is not the same one. Do you understand what I'm saying? Anyway, so here's that kind of cramped living room. If this wasn't a shell, like, I probably would have wanted one more tile. I don't like when the couch or the sofa or any seating at all is like in front of the door. That is not like, hope I'm not totally misinterpreting this word, but it's not like good feng shui to me, like not good flow. Like, I want to have good flow from the front door, and the couch being in front of it, even just a little tiny bit in this one, like that, I don't love that. But I think I made it work. I think this house is really cozy. Like, this house to me does totally scream family gameplay, as most builds on my channel tend to scream. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of always what I go for. That's the gameplay that I used to be into. I feel like I haven't played this game in forever. But when I used to consistently be playing this game, not for the internet, like, I always played with a family. I always had like a big family home like this. I don't know. I'm thinking about starting a Let's Play. I feel very nervous about it though. I feel very nervous and not sure which one to do. My favorite ones to watch are like rags to riches kinds of Let's Plays. I have obviously watched a couple of 100 baby challenges or legacy challenges. That feels fun too. That feels like a commitment though. Like, you got to be in it for the long haul. But I don't know. Someone suggested the Not So Berry challenge. I actually have never watched a Not So Berry challenge before. I think the premise is that just like each generation is a different color. Maybe there's more to it than that. I need to look up like official rules. I would like to start a Let's Play because I haven't played this game in 300 years. Other than just building. So I feel like I want to get into game again, but I feel like the reason I never got into playing The Sims 4 is because when I did, I remember the first sim that I made and like played with, it was very shallow. I hate to say that. I love this game. Please don't come for me. I literally love this game. But I feel like the gameplay is a little shallow. And I remember, like, again, coming into playing The Sims 4 from other iterations, my sim, like, started to like Johnny Zest, you know? She's all about that. And he literally was, like, more or less a robot. Like, the Sims you're not playing with have no personality. Once you get to know them, like, they don't have any personality. They don't have a job. They don't have any money. Like, a scrub. An absolute scrub. And that's not a Johnny Zest issue. Like, that's a Sims 4 issue. Like, your Sims outside of your household might as well... we're in a simulation. I almost very genuinely said, it's almost like they're in a simulation. Like, yes, Hawk, we are in a simulation. That is actually the point of this game, girl. Anyway, you know what I mean, though. Like, there's no personality. You feel like it doesn't feel immersive because they don't have a life outside of potentially dating your sim. Like, that kind of sucks. I think they're trying to get better at that, but from what I understand, like, people are assuming, I don't know shit about game development, but people are assuming that the reason it's still lacking in this department and always will is just because this game is not outfitted for that kind of depth like some other games had. And that's unfortunate, but like, I really do just love building a lot, so I'm not totally affected by that. But I feel for people who just love to play this game endlessly. So we're finishing up the main floor. There's a big kitchen with a huge island and a main dining room. And then this little nook. I love, love, love that little nook with the piano. I feel like it's kind of like an open library. Also, this is still my campaign for upright pianos that are not grand pianos or baby grand pianos. We need just an upright, regular old piano. Badly. Okay, thanks. That was my soapbox. A little lighter than some of my other soapboxes I've had before. Anyway, we're moving right on up to the second story. Again, I got 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms up here, y'all. We love to see it. Sometimes in shell builds, you only get 2 bedrooms and like maybe a bathroom and a half. But no, we got 4 good-sized bedrooms and 2 very good-sized bathrooms. The layout of this bathroom was a little wonky. I really didn't want it to feel empty, so I wanted the tub to be in that nook, and then I wanted there to be a walk-in shower, and I didn't want it to feel clunky. I think I got there in the end. I mean, it's not the most perfect layout for a bathroom, but I think I got there in the end. I think it worked out. I would have much rather had a larger shower, but, you know, we got there. So anyway, quickly doing the spare bathroom. It was a little tight. All right, I lied. Maybe this 1 bedroom is a little wonky, but I made it a nursery. So it's meant to be a small little bedroom. And like, by the time that kid grows up, the teenager that lives here, they'll be off to college. So that kid will just, you know, they'll just move up in a room. It won't be any big deal. It ain't no problem. And then a good landing. I love a good landing. I don't want them to be too big, but I don't want them to be too small. And then I actually put an additional laundry room upstairs. I just kind of thought, like, this is a big house, right? So I thought they turned this little, I could have made it a closet, but I made it a laundry room. And then I put a little Roomba in there too. The master bedroom is gigantic. It's kind of awkwardly shaped in the way that there's not a good way to make it super symmetrical. So everything is kind of centered with that bump out because it just needed to be, okay? I used an array of furniture in here, but I kept it light and sweet as I always do. The main bedrooms in all of my builds are so boring. They're like grayscale or at least neutral. The kids' bedrooms, though, tend to be more exciting for sure. But yeah, listen, I know that the furniture from Get Famous is not for everyone, and I will agree that these could have had much better swatches, but the style and shape of these are everything. What I wouldn't give to have a dresser like that in real life. Again, this is like basically the only good swatch because all of the other swatches have like colored drawers and knobs. I don't know who made that decision, but like, Famous when, bro? Not like currently. What the heck? But anyway, I don't know. I got there in the end. But we're moving right along to this nursery. This nursery is also kind of how I do all the nurseries. They tend to be neutral. I tend to just pick like light cream colors. Sometimes I lean into like a baby pink color. But really it's not like for a girl. It's just that pink is also a neutral. Like blue isn't a neutral color. Pink, though, a blush color falls into neutral for me. So sometimes I lean into that. But it looks like I went blue and pink in there. Anyway, moving right along to this kid's room, I think. Those tiny living beds, they look so cozy. I use them a lot. That's one of my favorite kids' furnitures, for sure. Love this room. It ended up being this purple and orange. Cute kid room. Cute kid room. I try to lean into a color scheme without going too hard, but I always end up either going way too hard into a color scheme or it's kind of boring. So I think it's better to lean into it. They're kids, right? I also thought this kid wanted to grow up and like be a scientist. Honestly, I had my niece Hadley in mind. She's a tiny little weirdo and I love her so much. Like, she's going to be so weird, but she's going to be so cool when she grows up. Like, I can already tell she's going to be so cool. I could not dream to be as cool as that kid. But yeah, so this room had a little bit of funkiness, but also a little bit of drama. Yeah, I love this room. I love this room. It made me think of little Haddles. But the last room was just a teen's room, and I kind of thought this teen was like kind of boring. I think it was the idea was that they were just a little bit boring, a little too serious. Like, it didn't have quite as much character as the, like, I guess middle child's room. This was more of a teen-centered room. But yeah, I all in all really liked this build and love doing shell challenges. If there's another person out there that does shell challenges, I would love to do your shell. So right quick, I just wanted to quickly say thank you all so much for watching. I know that I have just recently gained a few new subscribers and literally it makes me want to sob. I actually sobbed to my therapist about it. So, you know, but yeah, thank you all so much for being here. I love this game and I love creating, and please, if you are creating, let me know because I'd love to check out your stuff too. So I upload new videos on Mondays and Thursdays, and I hope to see you back, and I hope the world is treating you well. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye! Probably a little too hype about how weird my niece is.